Thank you, Natalie. Good afternoon once again. And Japan have been one of the stories of this World Cup so far. But after their dramatic victories over Germany and Spain, they come face to face with the Iron Men of Croatia. They may be aging, but they've shown little sign of creaking. And as they showed in 2018, when everyone else thinks they should be tired, that's when they often move up another level. Well, Japan may have to do that here today, despite their heroics in the group stage. And 3 changes from that side, which came from behind to beat Spain 2-1 to win the group. Takahiro Tomiyasu of Arsenal comes into the back 4 because Ko Itakura is suspended. Ao Tanaka is replaced by Wataru Endo, who is fit enough to begin the game once again. And Ritsu Doan, who has scored twice off the bench against Germany and Spain, comes into the starting lineup this time because Takefusa Kubo is unavailable due to injury. So it is Gonda in goal, Tomiyasu, Yoshida and Taniguchi the back 3, Endo and Morita in midfield, Ito and Nagamoto in the wide areas, Doan and Kamada behind Maeda in attack. Borna Barisic comes in for Croatia. He replaces Borna Sosa, who is ill. And Bruno Petkovic also comes in. Marko Levaya is on the bench. It is Livakovic in goal for them. Juranovic, Lovren, Vardiol and Barisic the back 4. Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic in midfield. Kramaric, Petkovic and Perisic are in attack. Ismail Elfath of the United States is our referee, and it's Croatia who get the game underway in their familiar red and white checkerboard home shirts. Japan in all blue as Kovacic delivers an early cross into the penalty area. Croatia attacking the goal away to our left-hand side in the first half. Brozovic now sprays it wide towards the far side, and Juranovic, he's got the opportunity to make one of those typical breaks forward, the Celtic right back, but it's back towards Vardiol, who has worn a mask throughout this World Cup, but Tony Cascarino no doubting his identity.
Yes, and straight away I'm looking at the formations, Nigel. Japan are definitely going with a 3 at the back, pushing their full-backs on. As expected, Croatia flat back 4. First ball, straight, long, direct ball to Petkovic, the centre forward for Croatia.
Now an opportunity for Japan to try and break on the far side, but the free kick has been given for a challenge on Deza Maeda of Celtic, the shaven-headed striker, and he has the opportunity to make his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Now interestingly, he's up against his clubmate Juranovic, and it's the first set piece here for Japan, and they've been very inventive with those throughout the tournament. Doan whips it in towards the penalty area, and it evades everybody somehow as it spun through the 6-yard box. It's quickly recovered on this near side, and then the cross in towards the near post from Yuna Ito is blocked, and it will be the first corner of the game to Japan.
Well, whipped in ball there by Japan. Great ball. No one could get on the end of the effort from the cross. That's rewarded with a corner for Japan.
And once again, Yuna Ito is over the set piece. Maeda will be one of the principal targets, but Croatia have been very good from this sort of situation throughout the tournament. Ito plays it short, and it's swung high towards the far post and headed just wide. And Maeda was challenging for it, but the player coming in behind him, Taniguchi, won the ball inside the 6-yard area, but was unable to divert the ball on target.
Well, a real short corner played in first time, and like you said, Nigel, straight away an opportunity, but couldn't get on. No one could get on the end of that particular cross. That's twice in a row now when no Japanese player's been able to get on the end of the cross.
Now Guardiola plays it back to Livakovic, and quickly he was pressed by Maeda, and he clattered into Livakovic, blocked the clearance, has gone behind for a goal kick, but Livakovic came away from that challenge hobbling.
Lakovic there just tried to delay the pass slightly, but Maeda was on top of him, managed to get the block in, but they really started the match really brightly, Japan.
Such a big day of World Cup football here on TalkSport. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Brazil against South Korea. and one of those sides will meet one of these sides in the quarter-finals. Now Modric for Croatia on the far side, receives it back from Juranovic, tries to clip the ball into the penalty area, but it's blocked at the near post, and it will be a throw-in for Croatia. This has got the look of a very open game already, Tony.
Absolutely, and when you see Juranovic play down the right side, he loves to get forward. He's been an outlet for Croatia all during this tournament.
Juranovic with a long throw, hurled in towards the near post. Challenging for it at the near post was Lovren, but it's cleared away by Japan. Now Gvardiol inside the centre circle, looks to the left, then checks to the right, and with the lime green boots plays it forward towards Lovren, who is still on the edge of the penalty area. Now Kramaric tries to make inroads down the left-hand side, but he's closed down, and Japan will clear up towards the halfway line. 4 minutes played here on Talk Sport. Japan 0, Croatia 0 in Al Wakra. The latest game in the round of 16 in the World Cup, and the quarter-final lineup beginning to take shape. And of course Sunday, or rather Saturday, 7 o'clock, England against France. And that could be a tumultuous game, and the build-up is already underway across the TalkSport network as Borna Barisic of Rangers brings it forward on this near side, but he's closed down by Yuna Ito. Inside the centre circle, Croatia will be patient with their passing again. Brozovic finding Kovacic, and now Lovren will stride forward again, and Japan are very happy for players like Lovren to have the ball in that sort of area. Then they spring forward to try and win the ball back.
Well, Croatia have just got a foothold in the game now, passing it around, making the Japanese team run around. It's going from right to left quite quickly. Centre-half's getting on the ball.
Barisic on this near side, further forward towards Modric. Perisic will try and close down Yoshida, the captain. But the former Southampton man is able to clear, but only as far as Modric. And then Kovacic loses out, forgets to take the ball with him, and Japan will try and move it forward on this near side with Ito, who has been a lively presence in the opening 6 minutes here, but Croatia again had plenty of bodies around the ball.
Well, one thing for sure with Japan, they've got to make sure they don't let Croatia get on the ball and dictate the pace of the play, because they'll spend all this first half chasing around, which they can do because they're a really good physical team.
Now Brozovic spreads it wide to the far side, and Juranovic once again, and there is an option further wide on the right before Modric takes over, but a good challenge on him from Maeda, and it's now launched forward wide to this near side for Japan. On this near side there right with Ito, plenty of energy and pace ahead of him, but the ball forward doesn't find Doan. It's blocked on this near side by Barisic, and it will be a throw-in for Japan. 7 minutes played, Japan 0, Croatia 0 at the 2022 World Cup here on TalkSport. Wall-to-wall coverage, and that will continue with Brazil against South Korea from 6 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow we're on the air from 1 o'clock with Spain against Morocco, followed by Portugal against Switzerland, and of course those four teams are in the bottom half of the draw, which also includes England and France.
Well, I do think a big positive, if you look at the right side of the Japanese team, Tomiyasu, Ito and certainly Doan, they're a really good combination between the three of them.
Tomiyasu tries a throw-in on this near side, but gets too much energy behind that, straight out of play, and it will be a goal kick which Lebakovic will take. And we saw in the tunnel before the kick-off Hajime Moriyasu high-fiving every single player as they went past onto the playing surface. Clearly a really good relationship between player and coach.
Yeah, absolutely, and a very emotional man, as Natalie said, the build up to the play. Oh,
now Perisic has won the ball back on this near side, breaks into the penalty area. Brilliant save though by Gonda. It's still loose inside the 6-yard area. Kramaric tried to force the ball in, and eventually he was unable to turn, but Chiguchi Gonda there keeping Japan on level terms after a terrible error on this near side.
Well, the error was by Tomiyasu. He gets caught, he tries to block the ball out of Perisic, and he just misplaces his pass, allows Perisic to get away. His shot saved by Gonda in goal, and he just can't fall to the feet of Kramaric, but a golden opportunity by a mistake by Tomiyasu.
Perisic making his 100th start for Croatia here this evening. His 120th appearance all told. And he currently has 32 goals, one behind the legendary Mario Mandzukic, and he may believe he should have equalled that tally there by scoring his 6th goal in World Cup finals. But an early warning for Japan. They forced so many errors, but an unforced one at the other end almost gifted Croatia the opening goal. 9 minutes played, Japan 0, Croatia 0, and at the start of this game at least, neither team is settling for extra time.
Well, just watching for Japan, Kamada, his role is to be a offensive midfielder when Japan get the ball. Driving runs, got an intelligent passing ability. He certainly can play a part in this game tonight.
A long ball played forward again, looking for the run of Petkovic down the centre, but it's overhit this time for Croatia. Gathered by Shiguchi Gonda. Once again, one of a number of home-based players from the J-League in this Japanese team, but of course there is a heavy German influence in the side as well, which made their victory over the Germans in the opening game even more sweeter for them. Here is Barisic on this near side. Back to Gvardiol, who also features in the Bundesliga for Leipzig. Closed down by Mieda, and all the way back to Livakovic. These two nations have met on 2 previous occasions in the World Cup, in the group stage in 1998 in Nantes, when Croatia won 1-0 thanks to a late goal from Davor Suker. And they went all the way through to the semi-finals before losing to the French, and then a goalless draw in Nuremberg in 2006, and they both went out behind Brazil and Australia on that occasion. And when Croatia do make progress in World Cups, it's a fairly narrow body of evidence, but they do tend to reach the semi-finals.
Yes, they do. But I'm looking at Japan, they feel really calm. They're not getting too excited about who they're playing against. They're keeping it quite simple. Apart from one misplaced pass by Tomiyasu, they've been pretty comfortable so far.
The first Asian team to win their group since 2002, and the first ever to do it on foreign soil. That was South Korea when they were the co-hosts with Japan 20 years ago, and that was my first World Cup, and some very vivid memories of what was a great tournament. Now Morita loses out on the far side, clipped forward by Kovacic. Modric in field again. It was allowed to run by Petkovic. Japan are able to clear, but it's quickly won back by Petkovic again on this near side. Crossed in, and then an overhead kick towards the edge of the penalty area, jabbed on by Modric, looking for Kramaric on the edge of the area, but Japan, the samurai blue, bring it forward again on this near side with Ito. And there is real method to the way they play, but a dash of flair as well.
Yeah, I'm just, as I'm looking at Croatia again, their midfield's a little bit stretched. Just expecting Brozovic, Kovacic and Modric to be a little bit tighter.
Well, Croatia have dominated possession so far, but Japan are moving forward now with Ito down the right-hand side. Low ball in towards Mieda. It's deflected right across the 6-yard box, and clattering in was Nagamoto at the far post, unable to get the touch which would have given Japan the lead.
Well, this is a great ball. Ito puts in the ball, whips it across the face of the goal, and Mieda just can't get there with his goal at his mercy. He just can't get his left boot to it.
Well, the cross took Lovren out of the game, and it was Juranovic who put the ball behind at the far post, but the referee has in fact given a free kick because Nagamoto took out Juranovic. Had he stopped off and not made the challenge, Japan would have had a corner, but it's a free kick.
Yeah, it was, and it's a defender's nightmare ball. Comes across the face of the goal. You're running back towards the goal as a defender. Fortunately for Croatia, they just got away with that one.
Now Barisic on this near side. 13 minutes played on Talk Sport. 0-0, but it's been a very lively game. Tomiyasu coming forward now. Was he barged over by Perisic? No, he wasn't. And Croatia will try and break with Modric. He looks to the right. Now Kramaric takes over. Back in field towards Brozovic. Kovacic makes the run from midfield, but Japan quickly win it back, and when they turn the ball over, there are 4 players moving forward very quickly. Here is Doan, and another strong challenge on him, which won the ball according to the American referee, and Croatia win it back once again.
I'm surprised how quickly Japan are turning the ball over against Croatia at the moment. I expected more fluid passing from Croatia. Haven't quite got on their stride yet.
Now Modric, the conductor for Croatia, at 37 years of age. Here is Gvardiol. He's got support from Barisic, and Barisic, though, is quickly closed down by Ito, who has got through so much work in the opening 14 minutes. But now Gvardiol plays a good ball to pick out Petkovic, and it's wide towards the far side again. Kramaric now has support from Juranovic, and now Modric finding Brozovic, 30 yards up, comes infield onto the left foot, goes wide towards Barisic, but Japan very quickly get every single blue shirt behind the ball. I would doubt there is a fitter team at this World Cup. Now Brozovic once again, and when the Croatian players look up, it's a wall of blue.
Yeah, and even as we're watching the game now, Nigel, the 2 fullbacks for Croatia are pushing high. So Juranovic on the right and Barisic on the left. They're playing high. They're not sitting back in a back 4. They're prepared to push on. It's not making much difference because the Japanese team are well set every time at the moment.
Now a ball forward, which is chased by Kramaric down the right-hand side. Just for a moment he was in behind Taniguchi, and he delivers a cross high towards the far post. Ito is there to head the ball away, and it's helped further forward on the edge of the box by Ritsu Doan. And now Perisic will regather for Croatia on the halfway line. But at the moment, it is a fascinating clash of styles. A high ball forward from Lovren, taken in stride by Modric, but he used his hand to bring the ball under control, and it will be a free kick for Japan on the edge of their penalty area, although Luka Modric appears to disagree.
Well, 37 years old, he's making a run forward, and he gets into the Japanese 18-yard box, tries to take it on his chest from a long ball from Lovren. You're not really expecting Modric to make that sort of run.
Now Tomiyasu on this near side, his first ever World Cup start here. His 32nd cap, although he did come on in both of the famous wins against Germany and Spain. Of course, Croatia was second in Group F behind Morocco. A couple of 0-0 draws against the North Africans and Belgium, and that 4-1 win against Canada when they conceded the quickest goal of the tournament so far, thanks to Alphonso Davies, but came back with real poise to eventually swat aside the North American challengers. Now Kamada coming forward for Japan, wide to the left-hand side, and Nagamoto, and the veteran swings a dangerous ball in, looking for Maeda, cleared away by Gvardiol. The clearance from Barisic at the far post was straight up in the air, and he was fortunate. The rebound landed on the head of Ritsu Doan, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Well, what a wonderful ball in from the left. Nagamoto again made up, can't get on the end, he just can't make a connection. A wonderful ball in again. The Croatian back line are having trouble dealing with crosses.
Japan in their 4th round of 16 tie, and they have never gone further. They were 2 goals up against Belgium 4 years ago with only 20 minutes to play, but eventually lost 3-2. But they are now consistent World Cup performers. This is their 7th successive tournament. Their first one came as a co-host back in 2002, and a lovely turn from Ritsu Doan, and he was caught by Gvardiol, and you don't often see Gvardiol exposed like that.
No. Again, just seeing Doan receive the ball into his feet. Gvardiol tries to win it, just gets across Gvardiol. He gives away a free kick. Decent position for the Japanese team.
It's a long way out in the central area. There's no real angle for the high ball into the penalty area, but Daichi Kamada is looking to cook something up. We saw so much from him in Eintracht Frankfurt's run to the Europa League success last season, and of course heavily involved for them in the Champions League, 12 goals for his club so far this season, which is a great return from midfield. He and Doan are over the free kick, and it's played short and then clipped high towards the far post, where it's headed away by Gvardiol, and then Doan leaps and almost takes off the head of Modric, but play's allowed to continue, and a long ball forward is eventually worked back towards Livakovic, and Croatia do get a free kick.
Yeah, offside given against the Japanese forward, Maida. Can they get a foothold on this game, Croatia? At the moment, they've just got their passing together.
And here is Josko Gvardiol once again, only 20 years of age. And he is a player who seems destined for the Premier League or one of the super clubs, currently with Leipzig. His ball forward is deflected into the path of Tomiyasu, and he rather puts his goalkeeper Gonda under trouble there before receiving the ball back and clearing long downfield. 19 minutes played on TalkSport. Japan 0, Croatia 0, and we must have a winner here today with extra time and penalties if necessary, coming up at 7 o'clock. Another fascinating game involving an Asian nation, Brazil against South Korea, with Adrian Durham, Ian Danta and Dean Ashton. Now Ito using his pace again, another great ball into the box, into that corridor of uncertainty just inside the 6-yard area, but it's claimed this time by Livakovic.
Well, I've got to say there, absolute terrific play from the Japanese. Ito whips in another ball. He showed a bit of pace as he took on Barisic, got past him, whipped in a ball, just played it in low and hard, but the keeper come and collected.
And here is Gvardiol once again. High ball wide to the far side. Juranovic is ever present, but his first touch was heavy. It's cut out by Nagamoto, and just for a moment Juranovic is out of position here, and Tomiyasu looks to play it forward back towards Nagamoto, who checks in field, but Juranovic is quick enough to recover his position. And now Japan may have to find a different route to goal, and it's on this near side with Ito. A high ball in which was deflected. It's chested down eventually by Brozovic and cleared forward up towards the halfway line. Petkovic controls with his back to goal, and then Yoshida comes through the back of him, and it's a free kick for Croatia.
Well, Ito doesn't waste any time down his right side. If he gets an opportunity to put the ball in and make it difficult for the Croatian back line, he doesn't think about it. Straight out of his feet, it's in the box, delivered.
And here is Lovren once again. The midpoint of the first half here on TalkSport. Japan 0, Croatia 0. And our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage, of course, begins every single morning with TalkSport Breakfast. Laura Woods will be live from Qatar from 6 a.m. tomorrow. And then White and Jordan with all the World Cup build-up to World Cup Game Day Live, which begins at 1 o'clock with Spain against Morocco with Joe Shannon and Tony Cascarino. You've been a busy man. And then at 7 o'clock, Portugal against Switzerland with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. But every single tie so far in the round of 16 has held the interest, and this one is definitely in the same category so far.
Got to say, the two boys in midfield for Japan, Endo and Morita, they're really doing well against the three of Croatia.
Gvardiol was caught there in a challenge with Ritsu Doan, and the referee has halted play. No free kick was given, but Gvardiol has gone down in some pain when Ritsu Doan has been called across, and I think he caught him in a rather tender area.
Yeah, he sees the opportunity to try and rob the ball off Gvardiol, as he just comes across Gvardiol, just catches him. Nothing sinister.
I think it was a trailing hand which just happened to be hung out there by Ritsu Doan, and Gvardiol came careering through, and as a result it was an inadvertent punch to the lower abdomen. Everybody laughs apart from the person who's suffered the injury.
Well, he seems okay. He's just on his haunches now at the moment, Gvardiol, but he should be okay. He's taking a few breaths. And
in the end, it was a throw-in. I They've given a free kick.
Yeah.
It does seem a bit harsh because it wasn't a foul by Gordon.
No, well, he just got across Guardiola, but you're right, it was his arm that came out and just caught him in the lower abdomen, as you said.
Well, Modric is over the free kick, and now Ismail El-Fath, the American referee, is taking him back to where the alleged offence occurred. 24 minutes played, Japan 0, Croatia 0. Modric will try and cook something up for the 2018 finalists here. And it swung high towards the near post. It was flicked on by Perisic. It came out to Gvardiol, but dare we say it was a central defender's finish, sliced high and wide.
Oh, that was a goalkeeper's finish. I mean, to be honest, he's hit it literally 30-40 yards over the bar. Gvardiol there.
Morita works it wide to the far side, and the veteran Yuto Nagamoto, now 36 years of age, his 15th successive World Cup start for Japan. Only the legendary Hong Mun-go of South Korea has played more games from Asia in World Cup finals, and he's gone ahead of Park Ji-sung on that list today. And the former Manchester United midfielder has been in conversation with our own Alex Crook earlier on today, and we'll hear from him as part of our extensive wall-to-wall World Cup coverage ahead of South Korea's game with Brazil coming up at 7 o'clock. Now Lovren forced back towards his own goalkeeper by Daisen Maeda, and he is another player, the Celtic striker, who shows such an appetite for work here, shuttling between the two central defenders and not giving them a moment's peace.
Well, they all over the pitch, they don't let you settle at all. Croatia, as you get...
There was an opportunity now for Petkovic, won the ball from Tomiyasu inside the area, but in the end he tried to nutmeg the Arsenal defender, and he deflected the ball back towards Gonda.
Well, that was what I was talking about before the start of the game. They don't really have a natural centre forward, and as it gets played, it's quite a simple ball, and Tomiyasu gets caught, and Petkovic gets away. It's at a tight, acute angle, but he didn't really know what to do with the next ball, which the option was Perisic, who could have laid 5-yard ball inside him.
Well, there aren't too many home-based players in this Croatian starting lineup. Bruno Petkovic of Dynamo Zagreb is one of them, along with his clubmate Dominik Livakovic. But Mislav Orsic, who also plays for Dynamo, has been the form striker this season. You may remember scored the winner against Chelsea in the Champions League and Thomas Tuchel's final game in charge. He's got 13 goals for his club so far this season, but he's beginning this game on the bench, maybe because he's only got one goal in his previous 23 appearances for his country. Here is Lovren, another one of the veterans in a very old team. The average age of this Croatian side tonight, just under 30 years of age, is the oldest in a knockout game in the World Cup since the French side against Italy in the final back in 2006. And that was very much the end of a golden era.
And they're going to have to rank it up slightly, Croatia, because they're just playing a little bit too slow at the moment. They really haven't got any passes on because Japanese team is working so hard with denying them space. Just feel they've got to set the tempo if they can, Croatia.
And the Japanese supporters turn up the volume inside the Al Janoub Stadium, one of the more spectacular venues in a World Cup, with several, with a huge sweeping roof which has been inspired by the sails of the boats which was used by the pearl divers in the Persian Gulf, not too far from Al Waqra. This another venue which will be downsized following the World Cup. Currently holds 44,000. Modric jabs a ball forward, looking for Perisic down the left, hooks a high cross beyond the far post. In the end it was beyond Petkovic, but it's now delivered by Juranovic. It's another cross which has too much on it, but one full back to another. Here is Barisic with a cross in, flicked on by Perisic towards the far post, and somehow Kramaric unable to apply the finishing touch, but the ball is still alive. Modric with another cross in, looking for Perisic, and Japan, to the delight and relief of their supporters, will hammer the ball to safety.
Well, there was 3 or 4 crosses there back to back. Croatia just couldn't get on the end of one. We see one from the left from Barisic. Gets a little flick by Barisic. Kramaric just can't get there. Well defended by the Japanese team, but 3 or 4 crosses in the short space there caused the Japanese team a few issues. That was better.
Taniguchi and Yagamoto, who did well to just leave Kramaric away from the ball there as it spun across the penalty area. Now Barisic with a high ball forward again, gathered by Bruno Petkovic on this near side. He will try and take on the captain by Yoshida. Back to Perisic. Doan has come back to try and help with the defending. Of course, Japan have scored all of their goals so far in the second half of games, coming from behind at half-time against both Spain and Germany. The ball is out of play on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Croatia. 29 minutes played here on TalkSport at the 2022 World Cup. Ivan Perisic just testing the pressure of a couple of balls offered to him. Now he hurls a long throw-in towards the near post, headed away by Yoshida, and then further away on the edge of the penalty area by Endo, but it's flicked back in for Croatia. Nagamoto comes across to clear, and the head tennis continues for Croatia on the edge of the penalty area. Now Juranovic finding Modric, stroke wide to this near side, and Barisic, a low ball in from him, and it's a comfortable clearance for Taniguchi, and Maeda's ball wide to the far side doesn't pick out the run of Kamada, and Croatia quickly win the ball back, and they're beginning to build some pressure here as we approach the half hour, but it's still 0-0.
They're dominating possession now, Croatia. What you would expect, the Japanese team have just robbed the ball. It's the number 6 Endo, it sets Japan away.
And here is a break on the far side and an opportunity. Maeda waits in the centre for the cross, but it never arrives from Kamada. But here is Nagamoto, checks back onto his right foot. Lovren forces him to try and deliver a ball towards the near post area, which wasn't the best option, and it's claimed by Lovakovic.
Well, I thought that was a foul on Kamada. Unfortunately, he went to ground and he didn't get out very quickly. Nagamoto got left isolated on his own down the left and eventually gave away the ball back to Croatia.
Japan 0, Croatia 0, and darkness has now descended in Al-Wakra after another day of clear blue skies and warm sunshine. And we're hearing the weather reports from home, Tony, and without rubbing it in, we're quite glad to be here, in terms of the weather at least.
Well, I must admit, I've never had a nicer this start of the December. So
here is Kovacic coming forward now, works a 1-2 with Petkovic, but it's been given away and cleared downfield. We'll all soon be home to cover the Christmas programme, and Boxing Day has 10 commentaries across the TalkSport network from the Premier League and the EFL. We have every single Premier League game from that round spread across 3 days of action, as it's flicked forward again by Perisic. And Saturday on the home of the EFL TalkSport 2 this Saturday, noon kick-off, Birmingham against Preston, followed at 3 o'clock by Sheffield United against Huddersfield, and on Sunday the Manchester derby from the WSL on TalkSport 2 at 12:30, followed by Watford against Hull from the Championship. As Modric picks the ball up once again for Croatia, wide to Juranovic on the far side. Perisic just popping up on the right, but it's been given away. Shuffled forward by Nagamoto, and Japan through Endo will go back towards Yoshida. And here is Endo once again, a player who has been so impressive for so many years. Currently with Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. And now the Arsenal defender Tomiyasu finding Kamada. And again, Japan don't panic. If there's no option further forward, they're quite happy just to try and work the opening. And after a frenetic opening 15 minutes or so, with 12 minutes to play in the first half here, this is rather developing into a game of chess, typical of many knockout games in the World Cup. But here is Ito on this near side. Back again towards Tomiyasu. Ito makes the run behind Barisic, but the Rangers left back leaps to head the ball away. Now Brozovic is lost out to Doan on the edge of the penalty area. Good strength from him, and it's worked wide by Morita towards Nagamoto down the Japanese left. It's been a very even game in terms of clear-cut chances so far. Only one effort on target, and that was the Perisic shot for Croatia, which was blocked by Shuichi Gonda.
Yeah, they're just getting the confidence up in the last 5 minutes, Japan. They feel like they can compete in this game.
Now it's played forward to Doan, who brings the ball down on the edge of the penalty area, and he's got support from Kamada, who rides the challenge of Modric. He looks to the left. Just for a moment they had an overload. Here is Taniguchi up from the back, and it's back in field to Morita once again. Now Tomiyasu, and Croatia here have not had a kick for a considerable period of time. Endo forward again towards Taniguchi. Endo looking to play the 1-2 with Doan. He breaks to Endo on the edge of the penalty area, but the ball just spins away from him at the crucial moment. It's cleared away by Juranovic, wide to Kramaric on the far side. Kramaric is then fouled by Nagamoto, and Croatia, after a period of chasing, have the ball back.
Well, that was an extraordinary period of play there, because Japan tried a little bit of interchange, quick football. They lose the ball, but the moment they lose the ball, Nagamoto gets as quick as he can to the Croatian fullback and makes it really, really difficult. Juranovic couldn't do anything about it, ends up giving the ball away. Their work rate is just exemplary. They just don't stop all over the pitch, Japan.
Well, the Japanese supporters have been very visible around Doha, and they've given great support to their team, and they've certainly assuaged the memories of the so-called agony of Doha when their team drew here against Iraq in 1993 to miss out on the World Cup, which would have been the first time in the United States. Iraq equalising in the closing moments of that game. That allowed South Korea, their big Asian rivals, to nip in ahead of them and qualify for the tournament. Now Gvardiol brings it forward now. Entertaining run from him, but he couldn't find Kramaric. The ball towards him was maybe too slightly hit, and Japan won it back with Endo.
Well, good luck with that pass. That was pinged at Kramaric. No chance of controlling it.
Even somebody with your silky first touch may have struggled.
Well, no chance. He's absolutely pinged. He's 10 yards away, Gvardiol, and he hit it first time to Kramaric. But the game's got a bit scrappy. You know, they both keep winning the ball off each other very quickly. So there's no real momentum being gathered in this game at the moment.
Now Modric just inside the Croatian half. 36 minutes played here on Talk Sport. Japan 0, Croatia 0 in the round of 16. A quarter-final tie against either Brazil or South Korea awaits the winners. That game is live on Talk Sport from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock kickoff. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Spain against Morocco, 7 o'clock Portugal against Switzerland, and that is in England's half of the draw. And of course, England against France coming up on Saturday, 7 o'clock kickoff. We will be building up to that tie all day with the other quarter-final in that half of the draw coming up at 3 o'clock. Could be Portugal against Spain, but Morocco and Switzerland may have something to say about that. Now Kovacic of Chelsea brings it forward, but he's challenged while by Wataru Endo. And here is an opportunity for Kamada to try and play in Ito on this near side. We're heading towards a goalless first half here on Talk Sport, and if it remains like this, it would be the 25th goalless first half in this World Cup so far. And this is the 53rd game, but we've had a number of matches which have been slow burners, and this game is developing into one at the moment.
Yeah, it just feels like no one can really get a foothold in this match at the minute. Japan have certainly matched Croatia. Just been a bit surprised that the three in the middle of Croatia feel a little bit stretched. I think they have to be closer.
Now Morita, he's allowed to pirouette on 2 or 3 occasions there before it's worked wide by Kamada to Nagamoto. Juranovic is watchful. Nagamoto on the outside plays a cross which is considerably overhit, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, the cross there by Nagamoto, long and high. Seeing the Japanese fans really get excited by their team. They've been proud of them. They're still, competing, giving everything in this match so far. Not much quality, I would say, from either side.
Of course, Japan really picked off the big guns in their group, coming from behind to beat both Spain and Germany. Remarkably, those results sandwiched a 1-0 loss against Costa Rica, who were beaten 7-0 by Spain in their first game. But they made heavy weather of qualifying, only scored 12 goals in 10 games in the group which decided which sides from Asia came through towards the World Cup. But they always considered underdogs, but in this game at the moment they've earned the right not to be underdogs, haven't they, Tony?
No, absolutely. It's been duels all over the pitch. I'm just seeing there an incident where Yoshida has clashed with Pekovic. He's come out of it worse, but it's a free kick for Croatia. He's had a great tournament, Yoshida.
Now Schalke 04 in Germany, having moved from Southampton. He's played every single minute in the previous 3 World Cups. This is 126th appearance for Japan today. Modric will take the free kick. Lovren and Guardiola forward once again, but it's headed away at the near post by Kamada. And then on the far side, it's worked into the path of Ito, and Ito could be away here down the left. He's got Maeda ahead of him, tries to slide in Maeda, and there could be trouble here for Juranovic on the left-hand side. Maeda is just held up, and then the cross from Kamada was looking for support inside the area. Morita with the ball in. It's now won back by Morita by the corner flag on the far side. He's found Maeda, and he shrugged off Modric. A low ball back towards the edge of the penalty area. And here is Endo. A great play from Japan. The shot, though, is over the top in the end, and it was a chance for Daichi Kamada to open the scoring. And they played that superbly until the finish.
Oh, fantastic. Best part of passenger play so far in this first half. I've got to say, Maeda out on the left ends up winning the ball, and as it breaks it just gets played inside, and a square ball, it comes to Maeda, and he just can't get his foot around the ball to keep it low. It just puts it high and wide. Great passenger play there by Japan.
And that's encouraged their supporters, as you can hear. And there are plenty of Celtic shirts in the crowd supporting Dejan Maeda. I wonder how Bruno Barisic feels about that as a Rangers player.
Well, I would say he's Kamada for Japan. He gets on the ball. He's a very creative footballer, very gifted. He wanders into position a little bit like James Maddison does. You know, when you watch him for Leicester, he's got a free role in some ways to get in the areas to cause problems, and he does it very, very well.
And we'll hear from James Maddison, all from him, following this game. He's given a very entertaining interview to Hugh Woosencroft in the England camp today. And one of the discussion topics was, if we're talking first dates, where various England players would take their potential first dates.
Oh,
would you let your daughter go out with a footballer?
Well, if he's a nice lad, yes. I mean, no problem.
Now Ito for Japan on this near side. Ball from James Maddison coming up during our wall-to-wall coverage from this World Cup. Now Ritsu Doan, good cross into the penalty. Livakovic came for it, and there was no communication. Juranovic stepped across him to head the ball to safety. That could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, well, Juranovic does really well. Again, another whip ball in. Comes in from Doan. And Juranovic just gets across and ends it away to a corner for Japan.
Second corner for them. And there's Lothar Matthäus, the German legend, watches on from the stands here. Ritsu Doan with the corner, headed behind by Brozovic, and Doan can try again here. And we've seen so many corners recently in the World Cup not get beyond the near post.
Yeah, it's always frustrating beating the first man.
Doan goes short this time, and the angle is worked out for Doan. Ange delivery, a high ball towards the far post. It's lost and it's in! Daisen Maeda has scored, and Japan have the lead. Real confusion inside the penalty area. Croatia failed to get to grips with the set piece, and Maeda was there to poach 6 yards out. And there is Japanese delight all around the stadium. They could be on the verge of history. They could be on the verge of the quarterfinals. Japan won, Croatia 0.
Well, it was a short corner. Duran played it to Maeda, and Duran gets the ball back, whips in the ball there. Is he offside? It's a really close call.
Well, he's not offside.
As the ball was delivering to Maeda, the ball bounces around. Defended first time round, but it bounces to Maeda. Ball's on his left foot. It gives the keeper like a matching goal. Absolutely no chance. No chance, first time finish. I've got to say it's deserved, Nigel.
They are checking for a possible offside leading up to the goal. Nicola Gallo of Colombia is the VAR official. And if the question is, there was a Japanese player who may have been offside, but did they touch the ball inside the penalty area?
Well, it certainly wasn't Maeda.
No.
Goal
given. And Japan have the lead. And this game is now fascinatingly set up.
Oh, absolutely. And I've got to say, as the game's worn on, Japan have certainly thrown in more balls into the box. They've been a little bit unfortunate at times. And with that, Croatia have been uncomfortable. And I've been disappointed by Croatia in this first half.
And it's the 50th first half goal of this World Cup, but the first for Japan. They've done their damage in the second half so far, but not today. They lead by a goal to nil. And the scenario that Natalie was talking about before kick-off has happened. They've taken the lead. How do they play this?
Well, I think what they will do, they won't stop the work rate, because everybody in all positions covers every blade of grass on the pitch. I don't expect that to drop. And one thing has happened. Obviously, Yasu, the coach, has made great substitutions in this tournament so far.
We're into 2 minutes of added time on TalkSport. Japan 1, Croatia 0. The finalists from 2018 are under pressure here. Japan have never reached the quarterfinals, but they've had a brilliant tournament so far. They've caused so many upsets. They've won so many friends, and that is continuing here tonight in Al Wakra. And the goal scorer, Maeda, only his second international goal. His first came in a friendly against Ghana back in June, but with respect to that, this has a far higher profile. And we are watching the replay, and it was the right or left toe of Lovren which was playing everybody onside.
Well, I've got to say again that Duran, he's got a couple of goals in the tournament so far, but his ball whips in. He's done that a couple of times tonight already. No one's been able to get on the end of his crosses.
It was Taniguchi, the player, who was involved, and I think the ball hit him, rebounded across the 6-yard area, and Maeda had a relatively simple task to slam the ball in from close range.
Yeah, there was lots of bodies in a tight area from the cross. Look, Maeda was ready, he pounced, took one touch, he was in the back of the net.
Here is Bekovic now with a low cross into the penalty area, blocked at the near post by Yoshida, and he just points to his temple saying, let's focus, let's get to half-time leading 1-0. As the spider cam swoops down over the head of Luka Modric and then heads to the far side of the penalty area from him. And it's a corner kick for Croatia here, and this will surely be the final action of the first half. Japan leading by a goal to nil, but they need to deal with this corner. Modric goes short towards Kovacic, back towards Modric again. There's a third runner here who delivers a high cross in, looking for Lovren with a header, but it's over him, and that is half-time. And the Japan fans rise to acclaim their team. The hero for now is the Celtic striker Daisen Maeda, He finished off the set piece just before half-time, and Japan here on the verge of uncharted territory. They could be heading for their first ever World Cup quarter-final. At half-time, it is Japan 1, Croatia 0. Thank you, Natalie. It's worth thinking about as well. Japan have lost 4 of their 7 World Cup games when they have scored the opening goal, so they do like coming from behind. But they lead here, and they are 45 minutes away from a World Cup quarter-final. So these are big moments for the Samurai Blue. And they get the second half underway, wearing all blue, defending the goal away to our right. Croatia in the red and white checkerboard shirts, white shorts and white socks, but it's Japan coming forward right from the start, but it's cleared away by Brozovic on the edge of the penalty area. But every time he gets the ball, there are 2 Japanese players quickly onto him to win it back, and they've done that again, and now they come forward now with Kamada on the edge of the penalty area. Right foot shot from him isn't too far over the top.
Well, really good play again, and started the game exactly with the same tempo, Japan. Literally a minute into it, and they've got a shot. OK, Kamada blasts it over the bar. It was a nice pattern of play, gets it on his right foot. His effort was a pretty decent one, but just over the bar.
A reminder of the 2 teams, with Japan leading 1-0. For them, Gonda in goal, Takahiro, Yoshida and Taniguchi, the back 3, as Croatia try and come forward now. A low ball into the area looking for Kramaric, is cleared away by Tomiyasu. Ito, Endo, Morita and Nagamoto across midfield. Doan, Maeda and Kamada in attack. The Croatian team, Livakovic in goal, Juranovic, Lovren, Gvardiol and Barisic, Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic, Kramaric, Petkovic and Perisic. And Perisic is wiping the ball on his shirt to get the necessary grip for another long throw deep into the area, headed away by Yoshida. And there's a chance now for Japan to clear on this near side, and Nagamoto will just hammer the ball forward. Maeda will challenge under the high ball, but he's lost out to Lovren. But Japan quickly win the ball back. And I wonder how many second balls they've won in this game so far. There have been so many.
Yeah. Look, the midfield of Croatia. Kovacic, Chelsea. Luka Modric, Real Madrid. Brozovic, Milan. And they're 3 huge clubs, and you'd expect them to be able to handle up against. They're basically 3, and they've got 2 Japan in midfield. They're just sitting with 2 in Morita and Endo.
And now an opportunity for Maeda. It was a header back towards Livakovic by Lovren. It looked to be short for a moment, and Maeda wasn't giving that one up, but it's claimed by the Dynamo Zagreb goalkeeper. And now Brozovic with a high ball forward into the penalty area, headed up in the air by Yoshida. Petkovic looking to try and outmuscle to win the challenge, but again he's lost out, and as a central striker he's not really offering enough.
No, and he's flat-footed, Petkovic. He really is. He's an opportunity there, and he just stood and let the ball bounce.
And now Brozovic has been caught by Wataru Endo, and I think only a throw-in's been given to Croatia on this near side, midway inside the Japanese half. 3 minutes played in the second half here on Talk Sport. Japan 1, Croatia 0 in the round of 16 at the 2022 World Cup. Juranovic now with a high ball into the penalty area, headed away, then hooked towards goal by Kovacic and comfortably wide.
Well, so far all Croatia have offered is 2 long throws on the start of this second half. Juranovic took a long throw, comes out to Kovacic. He tries that overhead kick off target, again not troubling the Japanese goalkeeper Gonda.
From 6 o'clock we'll be live in Stadium 974 for Brazil against South Korea, with Adrian Durham, Ian Danta and Dean Ashton. And the winners of that game at the moment will face Japan in the quarter-finals. With a long way to go, and we have seen in the past, notably in the semi-final 4 years ago against England, that it is very dangerous to write the Croatians off. But Japan looking to move forward again now. Doan with a silky turn, looks to move it wide to this near side, and he's got support from Nagamoto. Infield again towards Morita, and now Doan with another ball into the 6-yard area. It's cleared up in the air by Lovren, volley back towards goal by Morita, and Croatia here making very heavy weather of clearing the ball, and it's almost won back by Morita for a 3rd time before it's hammered downfield. But Yoshida underneath it for Japan, but Barisic steps in ahead of Ito to head the ball out on the far side, and it will be a throw-in for the Samurai Blue, who at the moment are showing no signs of flagging themselves.
Again, Doan, terrific play. He's covering every part of this pitch, left, right, down the middle. Done really well today.
And Japan have a free kick given by our American referee Ismail Elfath on the far side for a challenge on Endo, one of 3 players brought back into the Japanese team here today. And there is a banner in the crowd from the Japanese supporters saying, "Where is Modric?" Where indeed. Now Endo wide to the far side, but the pass looking for Doan is overhit, and it will be a throw-in for Croatia.
Well, Endo and Morita, you know, both solid players, both of them comfortable on the ball, don't do anything really special. Everything that happens, the flair is all up front for Japan.
Now Maeda chasing another long ball forward. He's not giving Dejan Lovren a moment's peace, but he guides the header back towards Dominik Livakovic. Here is Modric. Croatia need to get him on the ball to try and inspire a recovery here. Juranovic with the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Yoshida at the near post. Now Juranovic once again. Modric goes square to Marcelo Brozovic of Inter. A high cross into the penalty area from Barisic. Now Petkovic goes down under a high ball. The referee waves away any penalty appeals, and the Japanese quickly continue.
Absolutely rightly so as well. Petkovic there, it's the sort of ball you'd expect a big centre forward to attack the cross.
But it's been won back now by Croatia, and the ball in from Petkovic doesn't find Kramaric, and it's gathered again by Chiuchi Gonda.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, Nigel, I'm not sure Petkovic is going to get more than 5 more minutes, because his impact in this game has been pretty zero.
Well, it was Taniguchi who was challenging with him, and there maybe was a bit of a shirt pull on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Looked to be a handball there from Juranovic on this near side, but nothing was given. And it's back towards Livakovic once again. 52 minutes played here on TalkSport. Japan 1, Croatia 0. Spain against Morocco, the early game tomorrow at 3 o'clock with Joe Shannon alongside Tony. And then at 7 o'clock, Portugal against Switzerland with Jim and Stuart. And one of Spain, Morocco, Portugal or Switzerland could face England in the semi-finals if they beat the French, live on TalkSport Saturday at 3 o'clock. The other confirmed quarter-final tie at the moment is Friday at 7 o'clock, and that's the Netherlands against Argentina. Another ball for Croatia goes right across the penalty area, and it's picked up by Junji Ito, and what a run forward from him. He's gone fully 70 yards and no Croatian got near him. Now it's back towards Doan, infield to Endo. Doan makes the run forward, and Ito is still in space now down the right hand side. A high cross in, looking for Maeda at the near post, headed behind by Lovren for a corner, and that is brilliant football from Japan.
It was. It all started though with Petkovic giving the ball away. It set Japan away down the right, and once Ito got on the ball, he gets the ball across in. Okay, gets a slight deflection. Maeda can't get on the end of it. Croatia have cleared it for a corner.
And Japan are attacking the end of the stadium inside the Al Janoub, which is heavily populated by the Japanese supporters. Every single one of them seems to be wearing a blue shirt. Doan with the corner, swung into the near post. It's flicked on and then flicked away from goal in the end by Taniguchi. And Croatia will clear. And then Kramaric manages to almost knee the ball back to Lovren. Juranovic again, and it's his clubmate Dejan Maeda who has scored the only goal so far for Japan. Now Modric on the half turn. Petkovic has lost out again, and Japan try and work the ball through the midfield with Kamada, but here is Barisic once again, and both the fullbacks for Croatia continue to spend much of their time inside the Japanese half. Here is Modric. Barisic is the option to the left, but it's Juranovic he finds on the right. Kramaric is also some way from the penalty area on this near side, and he comes in field beyond Kamada, and he's found Brozovic, but this is becoming very hard work here for Croatia with 54 minutes played. Lovren with the cross in, and the header is in, and there is the equalising goal, and it's Ivan Perisic, his 6th in World Cups for Croatia, and the veteran comes up with one when Croatia were really labouring. An excellent header in at the far post. Ivan Perisic once again for the Croats, and all of a sudden it is 1-1.
Well, it come out of the blue from absolutely nothing, because Croatia were playing the ball around, never quite got in a position to cross the ball. Then suddenly, the first time whipped in ball, I'm looking for offside, I can't see it was from Dejan Lovren, but it's on the head of Perisic. It's a great header, by the way. First time he's really come off the line, out wide, pings it straight in the bottom corner and gives Godan in goal for Japan absolutely no chance.
He barely left the ground, Ivan Perisic, got real power as it swung in beyond the goalkeeper towards the far post. Ivan Perisic, his 33rd international goal, and he's moved level with Mario Mandzukic, the legendary Croatian number 9. But they're both still some way behind Davor Suker, but he has moved level with Suker on 6 World Cup goals across 3 different tournaments here, Ivan Perisic, and it's 1-1.
Well, you're right, Nigel. Come out absolutely out of the blue, that goal. Croatia seemed to be absolutely going nowhere, and then suddenly from a cross from Dejan Lovren, far post, and literally standing and pings his head up.
Now Kamada plays it wide to this near side. It's also Perisic's 10th goal at a major tournament, which is a Croatian record. Nagamoto with the ball in, high to the far post, cleared away as far as Endo. He's set for the shot, right-footed. Oh, it's a brilliant save by Livakovic. Endo really caught hold of that, and it was arcing towards the back of the net before Livakovic arched his back and made a brilliant save.
Well, Endo hits us with right foot, and he's dipping inside of his boot, but it's straight down the middle of the goal. Livakovic gives away a corner, a great effort. He was just down the goalkeeper's throat and enables him to tip it over.
Corner kick on the far side. Doan very deep to the far post. Livakovic this time opts to punch the ball away, and it's gathered on this near side by Marita, but his cross in doesn't find a teammate, and Croatia will clear. 1-1 here on Talk Sport. 58 minutes played, and just when it seemed the Croats had run out of ideas, they come up with the equalising goal, and that really sums up how they play at times.
Well, so far certainly Japan have been the better team. Just a moment across, now standing jump, literally his feet on the floor, and here they go again.
Here is Perisic, he's picked up a loose ball on the far side, deep into the penalty area, continues, it's a scuff shot, and in the end it's desperate defending, because the loose ball was heading to Brozovic, and it's hacked away on this near side by Tomiyasu. But Croatia now beginning to pile on the pressure here. Nagamoto just turns and booms the ball high into the night sky, straight out of play on this near side, and Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian coach, is very keen for them to get things moving once again. They're a team full of ageing stars, Perisic amongst them, and he has brought them back into the game with that equalising goal here.
Yeah, and he broke away just before down the left and couldn't get his final effort on target.
Juranovic now throws it short on this near side to Lovren, who just miscontrols and then whips across him, which is headed away by Marita on the edge of the penalty area. Then it's hammered forward looking for Mieda, but Lovren again will win the ball in the air. Doan finding Endo, and here is Nagamoto. And how will Japan respond here? Of course, they came from behind twice in the group stage. They didn't come from behind against Costa Rica when they conceded late in that game, and Croatia came from behind in the only game they've won so far, when they beat Canada. So this game is fascinatingly poised. Here is Kamada, square to Morita, and now wide to the ageless Nagamoto down the left, right foot across into the penalty area, headed away initially by Lovren. Now Endo again was thinking about the shot, and it was eventually fired in by Morita. Comes back towards Endo, and the low effort on the edge of the penalty area from Doan was half hit in the end and claimed by Lovakovic.
Well, Doan's been everywhere in this game as we approach the hour mark.
He and Barisic are both down. I think they both collided after that shot from Doan on the edge of the penalty area.
It just broke. Two players hit, challenge for the ball at the same time, just collide. Doan gets an effort in, okay, no trouble for the Croatian keeper.
61 minutes played here on TalkSport. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Brazil against South Korea is a 7 o'clock kickoff, and at the moment neither side has any clear idea who they may be playing in the quarter-finals should they win that one. Now, that will be the first quarter-final, Friday at 3 o'clock. Netherlands against Argentina will be at 7 o'clock on Friday. England against France, of course, 7 o'clock on Saturday. And the best build-up will be on our wall-to-wall coverage throughout the week across the TalkSport network, and there's going to be a change made here, and it's no surprise really that Bruno Petkovic is coming off for Croatia, but it's Ante Budimir of Osasuna who is coming on to replace him. 31 years of age, but this is only his 16th cap. And interestingly, they've not gone for Marco Lavia, which has been the regular change.
Yeah. I thought Lavia might play today.
Or even Nikola Vlasic, who started the first game. So Croatia have blinked first in terms of the changes, and we just wonder what Hajime Moriyasu may have up his sleeve for Japan, because his changes have been one of the major features of their performances so far. As Guardiola plays it short to Lovren, time for him to bring the ball forward, sweeps it across, looking for Budimir, cleared as far as Modric, right foot volley from him. Oh, it's another excellent save, this time from Shuichi Gonda. Modric really caught hold of that, and Gonda flew across to his right hand side to palm the ball to safety.
Wow, first time we see some real quality from Luka Modric. It bounces on his right foot, he hits it, and it looks like it's dipping in the top corner, but Gonda makes a one-handed save and tips it over for a corner. Great effort there by Modric.
And Modric now over the corner on the far side with Mateo Kovacic. And Croatia looking to come from behind to take the lead, but the cross in from Modric from the short corner is overhit, and despite the efforts of Juranovic on this near side, it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, look, wasted corner there. Expect more there from Luka Modric, as I'm seeing a replay of his effort. He catches it really nicely, he's just dipping under the bar. Gonda manages to get his hand to it.
And a double change now being made by Japan. Kaoru Mitoma of Brighton will be one of the players coming on. Nagamoto and Maeda both make way, so the goal scorer and the veteran have been taken off. And Kaoru Mitoma comes off the bench for the fourth successive game for Japan, and Takumi Asano also comes on. He scored the winner against Germany, the former Arsenal player, now with Berkham in the German league, although he's played very little football this season due to a knee injury.
Well, as we know from watching Asano before,
Asano quickly into the action, but he's just shouldered off the ball by Guardiola as it spins through to Lovakovic.
Well, he does love to get a chance. Now he's come off the bench like he did against West Germany. He had 3 or 4 really good chances before he scored, and eventually did get on the score sheet.
Here is Juranovic, back again towards Lovren. The former Liverpool and Southampton central defender making his 76th appearance for his country here tonight. 1-1, 65 minutes played. Of course, if it stays like this, we will head to extra time and maybe even penalties. Here is Livakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper once again. Kept 6 clean sheets in 9 qualification games and 2 in the group stage against Belgium and Morocco.
Well, I'm not going to criticise the Japanese coach, Moriyasu, as he's made great substitutions, but I thought Maeda was doing really well today.
Well, it's played forward now quickly by Kamada, looking for the player who has just come on, Asano, but Juranovic plays it forward now for Croatia, and he gets it back from Perisic. A low cross into the area, seeking out Budimir, but it's cleared away. But Croatia are winning more second balls now. Here is Perisic with a shot. It's deflected high into the penalty area, headed away on the far side by Tomiyasu. But now there is space for Kramaric to try and deliver a cross in. He had support from Budimir waiting in the centre, but it's short to Brozovic. Brozovic now may use the option of Barisic wide to the left, but it's short to Kramaric. And Croatia here have so many bodies forward, including Budimir, and his downward header from the cross is wide when he really should have hit the target.
Well, Budimir's got a glorious opportunity. He gets a bit fortunate with a deflection as it got played back to Perisic. Kramaric hit it, and Budimir just can't get it on target. Takes a slight deflection, but it's very tempting. Standing header, just heads it wide of the post. Good opportunity for Croatia there for Budimir.
And Croatia with only 1 defeat in 19 games since they were beaten by Spain in Euro 2020. One of the more impressive qualifiers in Europe as well. And they are about to make another change, and Mario Pasalic of Atalanta will be coming on very soon. And he's another excellent midfield player, as we have seen during Atalanta's rapid progress towards the top of Italian football over the last couple of years. Now Juranovic, urged on by his coach, is going to throw the ball towards the Japanese penalty area from inside the Croatian technical area here. And he makes the distance. It's flicked on by Budimir, but it's claimed by Gonda. His clearance downfield will quickly seek out Asano, who will try and take on Vardiol, but Vardiol once again has really impressed here tonight.
Yeah, Vardiol's been excellent. He's had a couple of issues, only because of the way the Japanese play. They're so infectious, they don't ever stop running, trying to cause problems.
And here is that Croatian change now. Mario Pasalic will be coming on, and we've seen both coaches now go relatively early in the second half with changes, looking to win this game before 90 minutes. It's Kramaric who has been withdrawn to be replaced by Marko Pasalic. And again, Kramaric, Tony, a player who never really got himself involved in the game enough.
No, but he got a brace in one of the early games, didn't he, against Canada?
Yeah.
And he's a terrific footballer. Just feel he's not a real natural 9. He loves to play on the left side of a forward line and couldn't get in the game today. Kramaric.
Well, if this game does go to extra time, that won't really faze Croatia. They went the distance 3 times during the World Cup 4 years ago, including that win against England in the semi-finals. Twice won penalty shootouts. And they went through on penalties against Denmark at this stage, and then beat the host nation Russia in the last 8. Throw in on the near side, which will be taken by Mitoma, who we heard from talking to Alex Crook in our build-up to this game, the Brighton striker. Has 5 goals in his 12 previous internationals, and as he said to us, he's grateful to his parents for the long legs, which allowed him to keep that ball in play to set up the winning goal against Spain. Now Taniguchi on this near side, wide towards Mitoma, who will try and attack, and he's gone beyond his man once again, and this time, as Pasalic challenged him, he just overruns the ball and it's behind for a goal kick.
Every time they're there, just down the left side. Try to look up, find a pass. Just misplaced.
Well, the winners play Brazil or South Korea at Education City Stadium on Friday. They play at Stadium 974. Live on TalkSport. Our coverage with Adrian Durham begins at 6 o'clock. But we could be heading towards a long evening here in Al-Wakra because we have 20 minutes to play and it's still Japan 1, Croatia 1. Japan taking a first half lead just before the break, quickly cancelled out by Ivan Perisic, but Japan trying to build again, but Ito not found by Tomiyasu, and Croatia have done a good job since half-time, Tony, of keeping Ito quiet.
Yeah, well, probably from the 55th minute, they've just before they scored, they got going. I mean, the goal came out of nowhere, and from then they feel a little bit more assured, a bit more comfortable. I think for Japan perspective, Kamada has to get on the ball a little bit more because he does make things happen. The number 10, well, he plays number 15, but he plays a 10 role.
Now a free kick given for a challenge by Juranovic on this near side for Croatia, and it was Asano who just clicked his heels. Asano, yet another German-based player in this Japanese team. And when we've spoken about the home-based players like Gonda, who plays for Shimazu, and Taniguchi for Kawasaki Frontale, the bulk of this squad do play in Europe. As it's played forward now, looking for Doan. But again, Croatia will clear, and they're almost playing on the counter-attack themselves now, but that may suit them because they know they have the players who could just pick that ball at the right time to maybe unlock this Japanese defence. Here is Taniguchi. Forward again to Kamada. Then slipped forward by Morita, wide to the far side, flicked on by Doan, and worked further wide by Asano. And Ito has the opportunity to attack Barisic now, delivers a low cross into the penalty area, met at the near post by Lovren, gathered by Kovacic, and a good ball in field to find Brozovic now, and Croatia beginning to find their passing range. Here is Pasalic, who's just slotted in ahead of Modric in this formation. Modric on the ball now, swings it wide to the left-hand side, but it's headed behind by Ito, who is aware that Perisic was in the vicinity, and it will be a Croatian corner.
I've got to say, Ito's done brilliantly down the right side for Japan. He's defended well, and he's also been an outlet for attacks. Gets it on his right foot, gets it out of his feet very quickly, delivers a lot of crosses.
And against another top European team here, Japan just having to pick their moment. Of course, they beat Spain and Germany in the group stage. The first team since Austria in 1978 to beat both Spain and Germany in the same World Cup. It just shows what an achievement it was. Now Modric, a low corner in towards Perisic, who lays it back, but straight to Asano. He has support from Ito, who plays it long downfield, and there is plenty of ground for Matoma to try and make up. And now Morita in the midfield area, just catches his man, and a free kick has been given. Ritsu Doan thinks about the descent and then maybe thinks better of it, as our American referee, who is a big unit himself, gives Croatia the ball midway inside the Japanese half.
Well, Morita there, him and Endo for Japan have really defended well. They've robbed possession of Croatia on numerous times in this match.
Poked forward now by Modric towards Pasalic, and here is Juranovic on this near side. The cross into the penalty area is flicked towards goal, but wide in the end from Andre Kramaric, from Ante Budovic, I should say, and it will be a goal kick as Japan make another change. And they really are working their bench again, and it's Daichi Kamada who is coming off, and Hiroki Sakai, another one of their veterans who plays for Urawa Red Diamonds, who will come on to win his 74th cap.
Well, he just faded slightly from the game, Kamada. Done really well in the first half, was a threat to Croatia all the time, great runs, good vision. Now Sakai takes over.
Sakai began the game against Germany, but has been used from the bench ever since. And Japan have made 3 of their changes so far, as Taniguchi goes all the way back to Gonda. The referee has in fact halted play because there was an injury, and a head injury for Borna Barisic.
Barisic went up, just gets an arm from Sakai. What's the minimum of contact? He's gone down. I think he landed pretty painfully.
A reminder, 7 o'clock on TalkSport, Brazil against South Korea. Ian Danter and Dean Ashton, your commentary team. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, the build-up begins for Spain against Morocco with Joe Shannon alongside Tony. And then at 7 o'clock, Portugal against Switzerland with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. England against France, already in the diary in the quarter-finals, Saturday at 7 o'clock. And we will have the build-up all the way through this week to what promises to be a monumental game. And there are some huge quarter-finals coming up. Netherlands against Argentina, already confirmed on Friday at 7 o'clock. We could have Brazil against either Japan or Croatia, and there is also the possibility of an Iberian derby between Spain and Portugal, but Morocco and Switzerland will have something to say about that, as Japan try and bring it forward again on this near side. And I wouldn't say they're running out of energy, Tony, but I would say that Croatia have gradually got to grips with it.
Yeah, they certainly have. And you know, I'm not surprised. I mean, their energy levels, Japan, has been pretty high. They haven't stopped from the opening minute of the game. Made changes. I think the coach recognised that his team were getting just slightly off the pace.
Oh, and now it's been given away cheaply. And here is an opportunity for Croatia to break. Perisic with the effort, and it's just wide. And that's a let-off because Yoshida gifted him the ball inside the Japanese half, and Perisic was able to make tracks towards the edge of the penalty area, but the effort deflected behind.
Well, you're right. Yoshida give away the ball to Perisic, who comes on his left foot, pings it, and he gets a slight deflection, takes it away from the goal, gets rewarded for a corner.
Yeah, it was Tomiyasu who came across, and from a Japanese point of view, it's a good job he did. Modric will take the corner on the far side, inside the final 13 minutes on TalkSport. 1-1 the scoreline. Modric delivers, aim for Perisic, but it's flicked on by a Japanese head, headed back by Pasalic, and Barisic was about to take a swing, but in the end a free kick has been given to Japan. It was brave defending inside the penalty area from Ritsu Doan.
Doan done brilliant there. He see the danger as it was a far post corner, gets nodded back by gets nodded back to the Croatian player, and Duran just gets a clearance with the outside of his left boot as it was straight on the foot of Budimir.
And in the end, Japan were able to get the ball to safety. And we are heading for extra time as things stand here. For the first time in this World Cup. 78 minutes on the clock. Japan won, Croatia won. And Croatia very used to that sort of territory. Japan have only been to extra time once, when they lost to Paraguay on penalties in 2010 after a 0-0 draw, which would be comfortably in the top 10 of worst World Cup games ever. But a free kick's been given now for a challenge on the far side on Wataru Endo, and a set piece now for the Japanese to maybe put some pressure on.
Well, Brozovic just comes in the back of Endo, just clicks his heels, gives away a foul. Slight opportunity here, whether it's Ito or Duran to get the ball in. It's a good crossing situation.
And the Japanese fans turn up the volume once again. Doan and Ito are over the free kick, wide on the far side there, right. And Croatia have pulled everybody back to defend this. And it's Ito who swings it high to the far post, looking for Yoshida. Cleared away. And now it's taken down by Matoma, and it's played into the penalty area, then pulled back across the face of goal by Tomiyasu. Why didn't he shoot?
Well, Tomiyasu gets a ball played inside to him on his left foot, probably a little bit more uncomfortable side, and then he opts for the wrong option, which was to square the ball, which enabled Croatia to get it out of the danger zone.
Now Taniguchi forward again towards the edge of the penalty area, just beyond both Ito and Asano, and it's claimed again by Lavakovic.
Just see the replay of the cross. Lovely little ball that was played in by Ito. Tomiyasu really had a great opportunity just to hit it first time there.
And Croatia have only ever lost to France in knockout games in the World Cup. That's happened on 2 occasions. Of course, the semi-final back in 1998 and the final in 2018, but now they've given the ball away. And here was an opportunity for Asano to almost play it forward to Matoma on this near side, but it's defended well. Now Juranovic flicks it forward, and a free kick given to Croatia because Endo was all over Modric on the halfway line.
Well, Asano there, what a great opportunity to send Ito. Matoma to get away down the left. One thing that Asano does do, he never stops running, not always the best of quality, tries to exploit space.
Now Modric on this near side, fighting Juranovic. A high cross in, the goalkeeper Gonda has come a long way, and that's great goalkeeping to catch that with both hands about 16 yards from goal.
Well, he had a long time to think about that cross. It's right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Gonda just plucked it out the air.
Moriyasu, the coach of Japan, played for them in the agony of Doha game when they drew with Iraq back in 1993. So he knows all about the fine margins in World Cup games. And he's in conversation with a member of his backroom team, maybe thinking about other potential changes with extra time still to come. If they don't make any more now, they will get an added change for the extra half hour.
Well, as they get tired, both teams are getting caught offside a little bit more regular. Game's getting slightly stretched.
8 minutes to play here on Talk Sport in the round of 16 at the 2022 World Cup. Japan won, Croatia won the scoreline. Don't forget, we'll be back to domestic matters following the World Cup final on Boxing Day. 10 commentaries across the Talk Sport network and the app from the Premier League and the EFL. We have every single Premier League game from that round of games, the first of the festive period. And the action continues from the EFL on the home of the EFL, Talk Sport 2 on Saturday. 12 o'clock, Blackburn against Preston. 3 o'clock, Sheffield United against Huddersfield. Then on Sunday we have the Manchester Derby at 12:30 from the Women's Super League. And then at 3 o'clock, Watford will take on Hull. And we have some news from the EFL. Charlton Athletic have confirmed that Ben Garner has left the club as their manager. Of course, they've had a fairly mediocre start to the season in League One, and Charlton are looking for yet another new coach. Here is Brozovic for Croatia. Wide towards Modric on this near side. Juranovic back again towards Brozovic. Can Modric produce the match-winning moment here late in the game for Croatia? He's found Kovacic. Perisic now on the right-hand side. Traps it in field towards Kovacic, but it's guided behind. It was a good challenge by Matoma to play the ball off Perisic, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, Matoma stayed with his man there, Perisic. Done well.
Croatia heading for extra time for the 7th time in 8 knockout games in major championships.
And they've been pretty good at them as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they won't fear that. I do wonder the strength of the Japanese squad.
Well, here is Asano. Fresh legs for them from the bench. Wide on the right-hand side. Looking to take on Vardiol, but Good defending once again from him, knew what he was doing, just stepped across and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, absolute good top defending there. Guardiola.
And Croatia have gone to penalties in 3 of those 7 games we mentioned, including twice in the previous World Cup, and at the moment we are ticking towards the final 5 minutes and it's 1-1 here. Japan were ahead for 12 minutes either side of half-time.
Well, the game as it's wore on, in the last sort of 15-20 minutes, Croatia have got much more into the game.
If there is to be a winning goal now before 90 minutes, you feel they will score it?
Well, it looks like they've just dominated the ball slightly more. Look, Japan have made a number of substitutions, and I mentioned about the depth of their squad.
Well, the ball has gone out to play on this near side, and ironically perhaps, Hajime Moriyashi was claiming the ball had stayed in. Well, he's had the benefit of one line decision during this World Cup, but not there. Now a long ball played forward for Croatia once again, looking for Budimir, who is the central striker. It's taken down well by Kovacic on the edge of the penalty area. Pasalic is waiting for the cross in. Pasalic rising now with the header, but it skims off his fringe and it's behind for a goal kick.
Pasalic there can't get on the end of the Perisic cross. Again, another opportunity for Croatia. It's not the easiest one. High ball. Pasalic just can't get a direct header on target. Got to give credit to the defending of Yoshida. He's done really well. Taniguchi as well.
Another change now for Japan, and it's Ritsu Doan who comes off, and Takumi Minamino comes on now with Monaco, of course. Played for Liverpool and also on loan at Southampton in the Premier League. And Minamino is a player who is capable of mercurial moments. Will we see one here?
Well, he came on in the game against Germany, the first match, and immediately made an impact. So the coaches expect him to do a similar thing.
Now an opportunity for Japan to try and break again down the right, but Croatia win it back. Perisic with the ball down the line, inviting Budimir to chase, but coming across is Tomiyasu, and it's back towards the goalkeeper Gonda, who rather scuffed the clearance but managed to get away with it. Now Endo has been caught on the far side, and it will be a free kick for Japan, and we have 3 minutes to play, and Endo just having words with Perisic, and Perisic maybe just slowing down the pace of the play there, and he's got a smile on his face, and I think he knew what he was doing.
Well, Endo is a no-nonsense midfielder. Quite a simple game, but very effective for Japan.
Both teams now maybe thinking about the prospect of extra time, and that is looming now, but a high ball forward on the far side is one well in the air initially by Sakai, but he caught Barisic on the back of the head, and it will be a free kick, and Barisic is quickly pulled to his feet by Gvardiol.
Well, Barisic there is, I think, a little bit fortunate, because Sakai jumped early. Okay, his arm's up, but is it enough for a foul? Oh, I don't think so. I think Sakai gets good greatly.
Now Juranovic plays it square towards the far side, and Croatia looking the more likely goal scorers, but as we tick towards the 90th minute, they're not offering a huge amount going forward. We had the shot from Modric, which was turned aside by Gonda, but on the other side of the ball we had the effort from Endo, which was kept up superbly by Livakovic.
Yes, this game has been quite intriguing this second half, but not really a lot happening apart from the goal. It put Croatia on level terms.
Now Perisic looking to win a high ball wide on the far side, the left, but he's lost out initially to Hiroki Sakai, and it will be a throw-in for Japan. And very soon we'll be waiting to see how much additional time will be added on by the fourth official. And we have had 6 changes in the second half, so it could be fairly lengthy. Now Matoma coming forward for Japan. He had the opportunity to playing Asano, but he took on one further player, and that was Guardiol. And now at the other end, Modric plays it forward for Budimir, appeals for offside, but nothing given. Kovacic looking for Perisic down the left, but Japan will clear. And then Ito has been taken down by Barisic, and a yellow card has been flourished by the referee for the first time this evening. Barisic was involved in the challenge, but it may have been Kovacic who got there first.
Yeah, it's been a great battle between Ito and Barisic on the right hand side. Certainly a mistimed challenge, and Ito was taken out. I think he was right. I think it was definitely Kovacic who made the final challenge.
And it's Kovacic who has been shown the yellow card. He wasn't on one previously. Modric and Lovren are the two players currently on the field for Croatia in that situation, and we are into a minimum of 4 more minutes. And yellow cards, by the way, existing yellow cards are cancelled after the quarter-final.
Well, that's quite strange. Only 4 minutes. We've seen upwards of 8, 9 in this competition so far. We've had quite a number of substitutions.
Well, we can see in the crowd Japanese supporters currently offering a prayer. But it's going to be a free kick for Croatia as Sakai rather leaps into Barisic on the far side, and it will be a free kick in the left-back area, which Guardiol will take. And we have two teams here who look as though they could do with the rest.
Well, it's been a draining game. You know, it's been full commitment from both sides. I do feel Japan have put a little bit more into it. Only in the last 15-20 minutes Croatia had a little bit more quality.
Perisic with a long throw into the box, but Budimir shoves Tomiyasu to the floor before the ball arrived, and it will be a free kick awarded against the Osasuna striker. And there were 5 games in the previous World Cup which went to extra time, and Croatia were involved in 3 of them, and they could be part of the first match here to go into that sort of scenario at this World Cup. Gonda from the free kick, clears long downfield for Japan. It's headed away by Barisic on the far side. The ball's then allowed to bounce forward to Asano, who nods the ball in field. It's gathered by Ito. Asano again down the Japanese right, challenged by Kovacic. Kovacic just nudges the ball in field, and Croatia will try and open things out here deep into added time at the end of normal time here on TalkSport. 1-1 the scoreline, with Brazil against South Korea coming up from 6 o'clock. Now Modric on this near side, back in field again towards Lovren. Guardiol takes over, and the pass from Guardiol was a tired one, looking for Perisic down the left, but it's overhit straight out of play.
Yeah, a lot of tired legs out there now. Just the quality has just been a little bit adrift in their passing. Certainly Croatia from centre-half position have gave the ball away a bit too much.
But here was a break downfield for Minamino on this near side, the left for Japan. He's got support on his outside from Mitoma, but Croatia defend that well. And apart from that shot from Endo, which was kept out superbly by Livakovic, Japan have not really offered too much going forward since they were pegged back by the header from Ivan Perisic. A long clearance downfield now from Gonda, and Mitoma will chase, and he'll get there down the left-hand side. Can Japan get players into the penalty area in support? Mitoma looking to hold off the challenge of Juranovic. Goes all the way back to Taniguchi. Now Yoshida directing the traffic inside the centre circle for Japan. Mitoma looks to play the ball with the outside of his right foot around the challenge, wide on the far side, looking for Minamino. Modric gets there first, but it will be a throw-in for Japan in the final seconds of normal time. It's back now towards Taniguchi. Square and wide to the far side, and there was a crossing opportunity there, but in the end Japan go back, and that is it. And for the first time at the 2022 World Cup, we are heading to extra time. Croatia are old hands at this, and they're going the distance once again. It is finished. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Thank you, Natalie. And none of these Japanese players have played extra time at a World Cup before, but the Croatians, of course, are battle-hardened after what happened in 2018. And Japan have made 4 changes so far. Both teams will get an extra one now. Kaori Mitoma, Takumi Minamoto, Takuma Asano and Hiroki Sakai have come on, replacing Yuto Nagamoto. Ritsu Doan, Daishi Kamada and Daisen Maeda, the goal scorer for them. Only 2 changes made by Croatia so far. Andrej Kramaric and Bruno Petkovic, the 2 strikers, replaced by Mario Pasalic and Ante Budimir. Japan have got the second half underway, or rather the first period of extra time underway. Wearing all blue, playing from left to right, and of course both teams took on plenty of energy fluids and words from the coaches during the break, and now Japan are trying to build themselves, and it was a good ball played forward to the right hand side looking for Sakai, headed behind by Perisic, and Japan have their first corner of extra time.
Certainly Sakai is pushing further forward and looks a real aerial threat, and Perisic has had to get back there as he made a run towards the 18-yard box from a wing-back position, as Ito looks to get in a corner.
Corner kick on the far side, which will be taken by Ito. Set pieces have been patchy from Japan as it was played into the near post, and leaping in was Shogo Taniguchi, but the glancing header was wide, and it was always a difficult effort from that sort of angle.
Yeah, Taniguchi there just gets a flicked header as he sort of was 2 or 3 yards further than the near post. Very difficult header. You only need minimum contact there.
Very attractive stadium here with a retractable roof, but of course it's open for these World Cup games, and while you shiver at home, temperatures remain in the high 20s here, and both teams tired significantly during the second half. And the pitches here are also beginning to play a part, aren't they, Tony? Because some of them are looking a bit threadbare in places. They've been heavily used with 8 venues, and they can be sapping surfaces in a game like this.
Yeah, well, they've watered them, they've cut them,
they painted them green in some cases.
I didn't know that one, Nigel, but you know, I've noticed they watered lots of time before the match, and they've been very, very tightly cut, and you sometimes see the ball running away from the players. It's been very slick.
And it's hacked away on this near side by Tomiyasu for Japan, but it's quickly won back. Brozovic looking to switch the play quickly towards the right hand side and pick out Pasalic, but Japan win it back, and they come forward now, and they've got 5 players forward inside the penalty area, looking for Asano, but it was behind him, cleared away, but it's recovered very quickly by Endo. He's got support from Mitoma, and Japan maybe have found a second win during that break. Here is Endo again into Minamino, and now Taniguchi wide to this near side, the right, and the Arsenal defender Tomiyasu. High ball forward, headed away by Pasalic. Brozovic steps in before Minamino, and it's cleared away by Modric. And I don't think Modric has really appreciated the work rate of the Japanese midfield at times.
No. And I think you can see in the opening of this first period of extra time where both teams have given the ball away very quickly.
And now Japan moving forward again now. Asano is in space on the far side. The ball has spun behind, but the final touch was off a Croatian, and Japan have their second corner in extra time with 94 minutes played here on Talk Sport. 1-1. The Croatians are contesting the decision to award the penalty. Kovacic and Perisic are very animated in front of Ismail Elfath, the American referee, but Ito will try and swing this ball in from the far side, but it's short in the end, and it's then lofted high towards the far post, headed towards goal initially by Tomiyasu, and then he goes down with a head injury inside the penalty area. He'd been penalised anyway, and there are players from both sides down. I think Barisic is the player who may require treatment for Croatia. In fact, it's Juranovic who was involved, and then Pasalic was the player who collided with Taniguchi. And the medical teams from both sets of nations are on the field. Don't forget, coming up from 6 o'clock, Brazil against South Korea with Adrian Daramy and Danta and Dean Ashton. That's the match which has been paired together with this one in the round of 16. The winners will meet on Friday at 3 o'clock live on TalkSport. Then tomorrow from 1 o'clock, the build-up to Spain against Morocco, which gets underway at 3 with Joe Shannon and Tony. And then at 7 o'clock, Portugal against Switzerland with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. Wall-to-wall World Cup coverage on TalkSport, which begins at 6 o'clock every morning with breakfast tomorrow with Laura Woods live from Qatar.
Wow, it's been scrappy, hasn't it? Certainly the second half of the match, the last 20 minutes, it was you have it, we have it. It's been a little bit like that in the first period of extra time.
Now Gvardiol on this near side, works it wide to Perisic. First time ball tapped into the space behind the fullback, looking for Barisic, but the ball was too firmly hit and it's straight out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Japan, which Sakai will take by the corner flag on this near side. Of course, if we remain level at the end of extra time, we will have the first penalty shootout of this World Cup. 97 minutes played, just after 8 o'clock local time in Qatar. And it's 1-1 between Japan and Croatia in the round of 16 at the 2022 World Cup.
It feels really flat at the moment. Someone's got to find something in this game. The energy's been sapped out of these two teams, rightly so. They've been, certainly Japan have made it so difficult for Croatia, and I don't think they've enjoyed it.
Now Gvardiol with a high ball forward, looking for Pasalic. Headed away well though on the far side by Taniguchi. And now a ball played in field to Yoshida on the edge of the penalty area. I'm not sure he wanted the ball there, but he's managed to get the ball away, and eventually a free kick's been given for a challenge on the far side on Taniguchi. Another player has gone down with an injury, and so many have crumpled to the turf, and now more changes for Croatia. Luka Modric is coming off to be replaced by Lovro Majer of Rennes, who scored in the 4-1 win against Canada, and Nikola Vlasic of West Ham, now on loan at Torino, will also be coming on. So Modric just takes off the armband and the Alice band from that very lank, sweaty hairline, and he's given the armband to Ivan Perisic. And the other player coming off is Mateo Kovacic. So Zlatko Dalic looking to just freshen things up in midfield, but there was a standing ovation here for Luka Modric, and who knows, this could be the final time we see him on the field in a World Cup.
Yeah, well, he's been superb this tournament. Tonight's not been his night. He's found it very difficult, but that's more to the credit of the Japanese team.
And will coaches, even at this stage, with 99 minutes played, be thinking about players they can have on the field who could maybe take a penalty?
Oh, absolutely. You know, penalty takers and fresh legs. You know, I did feel Modric looked really tired tonight. You know, the group stage games maybe took its toll slightly. The final game was against Belgium. That was a difficult match. Ended 0-0. A lot of energy was used in that night.
Both sides have only had 3 efforts on target in the entire game. Croatia have had 12 efforts overall. Japan have managed 9. And Croatia continuing to dominate possession, but in terms of meaningful possession, they've not really hurt Japan. Japan's high energy, even in a match like this, has nullified Croatia at times.
Yeah, I think since it went 1-1, both teams have nullified each other. It's been a real stalemate in the game.
And there was a hug from Domagoj Viga, another veteran in the technical area for Luka Modric. As he headed off, he of course will hope he'll be back in the quarter-finals. on Friday afternoon, but at the moment that's now in the hands of others. Perisic on the far side, challenged by Matoma, and it will be a Croatian throw-in. Perisic, of course, has been launching them into the penalty area, but Juranovic from the right-hand side will try this time. And we always talk about the Croatians as a fabulous technical side, which they are, but they also get it launched when they have to.
Juranovic does love a long throw, and he's doing another one.
Juranovic high into the penalty area, aim for Budimir, flicks on, Perisic on the volley, excellent block at the far post, and then Barisic tries his luck, and Ito was in the way.
Well, two great blocks there by the Japanese team. Perisic had a chance, then Barisic. Likewise, as we're going to see another long throw from the left side this time.
Yeah, Borna Barisic has taken over from Perisic, although two Japanese subs warming up and one of their fitness team are telling Barisic not from there, and they're trying to usher him back further away from the corner flag, but the referee has eventually agreed. And Barisic did not look impressed. High throw from him, headed away at the near post by Yoshida, and then Barisic is penalised for nudging into Asano, and it will be a free kick for Japan with 100 minutes played here on TalkSport. Japan 1, Croatia 1. And we are into extra time. And at the moment, these two sides are really slugging it out. And if you're Brazil or South Korea watching this game, you're thinking, get it done in 90 minutes if you can tonight. Because it's a fairly tight turnaround with a game on Friday afternoon. Of course, other teams will have more rest time, notably England. Of course, England and France play Saturday night.
Yeah, the games come thick and fast.
Although the English and the French will have a long time to think about their game coming up live on TalkSport 7 o'clock on Saturday. We'll have all the build-up. We'll be hearing from James Maddison later on in the evening here on TalkSport as Endo, with some great work, wins it back on this near side, tries to play in Asano down the right, but Gvardiol, I think, has been one of the contenders for player of the match.
Well, he's played very well tonight, there's no doubt about that. He's been a spoiler at times, he's kept the ball, he's moved it, made great challenges, and it's part of the reason why the Croatian midfield never quite got going.
Now Asano heads the ball back towards his own area, and he throws up his hands in anguish because he almost played in Mario Pasalic, but it's smuggled away on the far side by Taniguchi. And players beginning to make mistakes now. Tired legs and tired minds out there. Here is Lovro Majer, who has replaced Luka Modric and has a very similar hairstyle. Now Brozovic, found by Majer again, and Majer continues down the right-hand side. But Japan never give up any 50-50, and Endo just forces him back towards the halfway line. But Croatia try their luck now down the left with Barisic. High cross towards the far post, headed away initially by Taniguchi, and then a long ball downfield, but Asano looks at that and thinks, I've got no chance.
Yeah, again, long ball in by Barisic. Japan have cleared their lines brilliantly. The amount of times they've got their heads on the ball.
Croatia did go to penalties against Denmark in the round of 16 4 years ago, but two of the three players who scored for them in the shootout, Kramaric and Modric, are no longer on the field. Now it's cleared away on the edge of his own penalty area by Tomiyasu, and Japan will try and break now. Asano makes the run towards the penalty area. Endo with a brilliant run, and it's blocked in the end. The shot from Matoma really fizzed in, but it's kept out well by Livakovic. But there's still an opportunity on this near side. Sakai with the delivery into the near post. Gvardiol is there to head the ball away. Nodded back in and then volleyed towards goal by Matoma, and it takes a deflection, spins to this near side, and Perisic unable to keep the ball in play, and it will be a corner kick.
Well, great break by Japan. Matoma was in the heart of it as he cut across defenders. Great shot, unfortunately, straight down the goalkeeper's throat, which makes it an easy save for Lakovic. First time, Nigel, we've seen anything from Japan in a forward sense.
It's their first shot on target for a long, long time since the effort from Endo just after the equaliser. Ito with the corner. It's very deep and it's headed away. But Japan quickly win it back. Endo again, finding Ito on this near side. Back to Minamino. He delivers a high ball in and then nodded back into the 6-yard area. Desperate defending from Guardiola. The ball's not being cleared in, and Livakovic eventually clutches it, and we're into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first period.
Oh, again, ball's been pinging about. I'm just seeing an effort. Touches, slight hand of Guardiola. Well, the keeper, Livakovic, just tips it over.
And of course, so many Brighton players have impressed at this World Cup so far. And Matoma almost making himself another Seagulls hero there. Now Juranovic for Croatia as we approach half-time in extra time. And it remains 1-1. Perisic with a ball towards the edge of the box, and it's controlled by Budimir. The ball back though initially was behind Vlasic, but he's able to control. Perisic now digs out the cross, high to the far post, headed away. And Japan will try and bring it clear now. Ito with an intelligent ball on this near side, down the line from Sakai. Asano though just showing too much of that to Lovren, who guides it back to Livakovic.
Well, even the subs look tired.
Even we're tired.
Yeah, they're all still running around and trying to... Japan look every now and again, look like they need a little bit of a spark. This has really been draining on both teams here this game tonight.
And one of these teams will be playing again on Friday at 3 o'clock live on TalkSport. Not too much time to rest and recuperate. But of course Croatia have been down this road before as half-time. And it remains 1-1, and we are 15 minutes away from penalties. Natalie. Thanks, Natalie. Eo Tanaka of Fortuna Düsseldorf in the German second division has come on for Japan, and Morita is the player who has gone off, who's had an excellent game at the heart of midfield. And two changes for Croatia, maybe with penalties in mind. Mislav Orsic, a striker, has come on, along with another, Marko Levaya, who scored in the win against Canada in the second round of group games. And Perisic and Budimir have gone off, so Budimir came on and now he's gone again. With 15 minutes to play, and both managers have used so many changes as they now can at this stage of a World Cup game, heading into extra time.
Has the sub been sub there?
Yeah, Budimir, yeah.
Budimir, yeah.
Both teams have now made, or the Japan have made 5 changes and Croatia have made 6. Throw-in for Japan on this near side, attacking the goal away to our left. Matoma will take it. We are in the second period here of extra time on TalkSport. As Yoshida plays a tired ball forward and it's quickly cut out. Levaya now playing as the central striker, another home-based player for Hajduk Split, famous club in Croatia. But Japan quickly win it back again, and there was a case really, Tony, for saying go straight to penalties, because extra time has just been, I wouldn't say devoid of action, because it's not been devoid of action, but at the same time both sets of players are absolutely shattered.
Yeah, you can see the consequences of a really tough match where both teams are literally out on their feet. Even with substitutions, it's not made much difference to the quality of this football match so far. And yeah, I can't see a goal at the moment. Can someone just do that piece of magic to find one last late effort? It feels more likely, Nigel, a mistake than a wonder goal, or someone producing something special.
And my apologies, Croatia have only made 5 changes, but of course Budimir has come on and then gone off, so they've used 6 subs as it's played forward again by Lovren for Croatia. And they wouldn't be too concerned about another penalty shootout at the World Cup, having won 2 in the previous edition, but they'd love to win this as well and avoid that unnecessary tension as Pasalic has challenged on this near side, and he's lost out, and it's quickly brought forward by Matoma, who has had a lively cameo for Japan so far from the bench, and he's really had the only shot in anger for them since the effort from Endo, which now seems a long time ago.
Well, certainly Matoma has really added something to the Japanese team. He's probably been the sub that's done the most.
Asano's rather been on the fringes.
Yes, lots of runs, but not really been able to get in between.
But here's an opportunity for Japan now, and it's Matoma coming in field, curls it low into the penalty area. Gvardiol again just jabs out a leg to clear. It's now worked wide to the far side by Tanaka, looking for Sakai, overhit and out of play for a throw-in.
Tanaka there, he just overplayed to him, he couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Matoma just getting a look at him.
I wonder if he could have gone for goal there, Matoma.
Yeah, he's tried to just do a side foot pass inside the 18-yard box. Then all night that's been cleared. Croatia have defended certainly very well with Lovren, Gvardiol.
Now Maya's been fouled. It will be a free kick for Croatia. Only two other Asian sides have reached the quarter-finals of the World Cup. North Korea, memorably, in 1966 when they knocked out Italy at Ayers Park before losing against Portugal, despite leading 3-0 at Goodison Park early in that game. And then, of course, South Korea as Japan's co-hosts in 2002 when they had that remarkable run under Goose Hiddink to the semi-finals, and they knocked out both Spain and Italy on the way.
Well, I'm just looking at Barovic, the left back for Croatia. He looks like he's got nothing left, and he's been stretching his groin, really hanging on in this game.
Well, he seems to have been permanently receiving treatment for most of the game for various ailments, as Yoshida just hammers it forward now for Japan, but it breaks to Minamino in the centre circle, and he spins away to this near side. Everything coming through Matoma now down the left-hand side, and again he's got the opportunity to try and attack Pasalic, but the ball forward is a poor one, and it's cut out on this near side by Maya. Maya goes back towards Juranovic, and his clearance long downfield again. It's headed forward by Taniguchi, one of the Japanese players who has been on from the start of this game, as has Endo, who challenges Pasalic in the air, and Croatia get the bounce of the ball, and here is Maya. He's away for them down the right-hand side. Three wait inside the penalty area for the cross. Maya's delivery high to the far side. It's headed away initially by Tomiyasu, and then it's returned back into the penalty area, over his and behind for a corner kick, although the Japanese look nonplussed at that.
Well, it was Ito who gave away the corner. Luckily for Japan, he made a great run and just denied a shooting opportunity on the edge of the box for Croatia there, but gave away a corner. 9
minutes to play in extra time. 1-1 on Talk Sport at the 2022 World Cup. The corner whipped into the near post, fisted away by Gonda. The delivery from Mislav Orsic, who has just come on. And Gonda has had a fine game for Japan. Really commanded his area at times.
Yeah, it was a great ball in by Orsic. Whipped him with pace. Gonda came and just got his fist to it to punch it away.
Now Brozovic on this near side, infield towards Maya. He just checks to find Brozovic, and he whips a high ball towards the far post, and it's headed away initially, controlled by Maya on the edge of the penalty area. He just clips the ball over Asano's head and then scoots around him to regather and plays it wide to this near side, and Juranovic. Now Brozovic tries to feed it back towards Maya, but it's blocked on this near side by Tanaka, the player who has recently come on for Japan. And Tanaka, one of the starters previously. And Japan have conceded the throw-in, which will be hurled long into the penalty area by Juranovic. He heads towards the technical area to borrow a towel from a fellow Croatian player, and it's high in from Juranovic, and it's flicked on towards goal, and there was just a moment's hesitation there before Gonda claimed it. Then he clears long downfield, and Japan have two players forward. Ito, though, is unable to control, and Gvardiol with the back pass towards Lavakovic.
Good defending there Vardiol.
7 minutes to play before a penalty shootout here on TalkSport. Maya again for Croatia, and they've looked the better team since they equalised early in the second half, but Japan have never given this one up. Now Orsic looks to bring a fellow replacement, Levaya, into the game. Brozovic working hard to win it back from Endo. Now there's an opportunity for Vlasic to turn and play it wide to the far side, but again the cross is a poor one for Croatia, and really they've delivered one good ball into the box, and that was for the goal, but he was run out of play by Matoma on this near side, and Croatia have a throw-in which Juranovic can hurl high into the penalty area once again.
Well, he's going to have sore arms tonight, Juranovic. Must have done about 30 of these throws, these long throws.
And here comes another one. Launched long into the 6-yard area. It was flicked on at the near post by Levaya and claimed well by Gonda. Early release from him once again, and it's claimed by Asano midway inside the Croatian half. Guardiol forces him far to the far side, and Asano does well to hold the ball up, and he's played it back to Endo, who has been superb for Japan at the heart of their midfield. Never stop running. Now Taniguchi over the halfway line, finding Minamino on this near side. Now Matoma back towards Minamino, and Minamino breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, challenged by Brozovic, but it's into the path of Asano. Now Endo looks towards Sakai down the right, needs a good cross, wasn't a good cross, cleared away by Gvardiol. But Japan enjoying a second wind here with 5 minutes to play in extra time. Matoma down the left hand side, plays it back in field again towards Tanaka. Here is Tomiyasu. Endo turning away from Brozovic. High cross to the far post, headed away initially, but returned back in by Matoma and into the arms of Lavakovic.
Oh, great play by Endo. Got the ball just on the edge of the area, clipped the ball in. Matoma couldn't quite direct the header. Comfortably fell in the hands of Lavakovic.
Lavakovic, I'm sure in the back of his mind, or maybe more prominent than that now, will be thinking about the role he could be playing in the next few minutes.
Well, that'll be on the minds of the goalkeepers, that's for sure.
One of them could be a hero very soon, but not before a free kick has been given on the far side to Japan for a challenge on Ito, and a yellow card will also be shown to the Croatian player involved as well, but Ismail Elfat, the referee, is just trying to sort out who it is. It's Barisic. He's gone down with cramp, and when he gets up he'll receive a yellow card.
I don't think Barisic will be taking a penalty.
No.
He's really hanging on in this game. He's holding his hamstring.
I think basically he's on vapors now, isn't he?
Yeah. No Barisic.
Free kick for Japan. And their drummers inside the stadium still hammer out that incessant beat in support of their team. Played forward by Tomiyasu, looking for Asano, but it's claimed by Lavakovic once again. And is there any way for either side to win this game, Tony, before the shootout?
Well, I said I couldn't see a goal in the, once the start of extra time got underway. I just think so much energy has been spent on these two teams. I just can't, unless it's a mistake, I don't see a moment of quality, because there's so many players who've given the ball away as they've got tired.
Well, Japan really drop off here, and there is an opportunity for Croatia to maybe create something in the closing seconds of extra time. Just over 2 minutes to play. Gvardiol with the cross high into the penalty area, headed away again on this near side, but quickly back towards Maya. Maya's got support from Brozovic. Brozovic, left-hand side of the Japanese area, finding Maya. And now wide towards Juranovic again. Maya takes over. Double coverage though for Japan, and it's quickly won back. Endo clears up towards Asano, who tries to turn Gvardiol. And I think he caught Gvardiol in the challenge, but play continues because Croatia have the ball. Brozovic just clips it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. cleared away initially by Yoshida, and then it comes back to him and he just knocks it out of play on the far side for a throw-in. And the players who've come off the bench could have a big role to play in the shootout here.
Yeah. Just, it's been a test of endurance, hasn't it, this game? And in the end, it's a score draw.
Well, not quite, because here come Croatia again. Vlasic plays it wide to the far side, the cross in looking for Maya, and he seemed to duck out of that when well placed inside the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Japan. Here is Lovren on the halfway line. And now Brozovic sweeps it wide to the right, and Juranovic. A high ball towards the far post, nodded back into the field of play by Orsic. And Croatia still have players here waiting for the cross inside the penalty area, but it's blocked, and it will just be a throw-in on the far side. It was blocked by the head of Tanaka, who has gone down, clutching his face, so there'll be more added time at the end of extra time.
Tanaka there took a ball on the back of his head. He's laying on the ground. Barisic, well, he clips the ball in. It's one of them awkward ones, hit him on the side of the head. I think he's going to be okay. He's just recovering. He's up on his feet.
Momentarily stunned there, Ayo Tanaka. But it will be a throw-in for Croatia as we tick towards added time at the end of extra time here. 1-1 the scoreline on Talk Sport. And that's been the situation since early in the second half. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Brazil against South Korea. But one of these sides will head into that game with the endurance they've had to undergo here today. Barisic now tries to cross the ball high into the penalty area. It's very deep. Mitoma is underneath it. The ball very close to brushing his hand inside the area, but he's able to control and clear the ball away. And Asano is beaten to it on this near side by Juranovic. There will be just a single minute of added time. Brozovic wide towards the far side again, and Orsic attacking the penalty area, fires in the shot. It's blocked at the near post. Asano now picks it up for Japan, but the ball wide to the far side was behind Ito, and Croatia win it back. Maya with the effort just wide. That could have won it.
Oh, what a chance right at the death of the game. In the final minute, Maya comes on it, just falls it, bounces around, a couple of mistakes, and it falls to Maya on his right foot. Just hits it on target to the roof of the Japanese team. That was an half-decent chance there. He knows it.
And I think both sets of supporters know we are heading for the drama and the agony of a penalty shootout here. Luka Modric sits head bowed on the Croatian bench. Nothing he can do now.
That's it.
And it's all over. And we are heading to penalties to decide whether Japan or Croatia reach the quarter-finals of the 2022 World Cup. It has been an energy-sapping 2 hours, and there is nothing between them. So it will be decided from 12 yards. So a test here of nerve and of spirit. The referee, Ismail Elfath, is making it very clear to both goalkeepers, you have to stay on the line. Of course, VAR will be involved here, and if they step off the line to make a save, there would be a retake. Of course, we saw that happen in normal play yesterday with Robert Lewandowski in the France-Poland game. And so much pressure on the first penalty taker. Takumi Minamino, formerly of Liverpool, scored in a penalty shootout against Leicester in the Carabao Cup last season. And Minamino will hit the first penalty, right-footed against Livakovic, who saves! Poor penalty, Livakovic guessed right, and it's advantage Croatia early on.
Well, he guessed right, Livakovic, but I've got to say Minamino's penalty, side foot, but it's probably 2 yards from centre, very comfortable save. So now Croatia with the onus to make it 1-0, have the advantage.
And it's another player with links to the Premier League, Nikola Vlasic, who is coming forward, currently with Torino, on loan from West Ham. And Shuichi Gonda looking to keep his team on level terms, but it's a great penalty from Vlasic, real power, right-footed, low into the corner, and Croatia lead 1-0.
Yeah, whipped with pace. Vlasic, where he didn't do too much in his time as a substitute coming on, he had some energy. Good finish, took it well.
Now Brighton's Kaoru Mitoma. Even at this stage, you feel he has to score. His team already a goal down in the shootout. Mitoma, right-footed, it's saved again! Livakovic again, guessing right. Not the greatest penalty. And the wheels may be coming off here for Japan in the shootout.
Well, they put so much energy into this game. You know, and both penalties have lacked any venom. Vlakovic does really well. He reads the penalty by Takara.
And the team who won 2 shootouts in Russia are on course here. The second penalty for Croatia. Marcelo Brozovic of Inter in his 3rd World Cup. Right-footed, right down the middle, 2-0 to Croatia, and already they have sight of the quarter-finals.
Yeah, Brozovic straight down the middle. Keeper dives, Gonda. I think straight down the middle. See that so often, don't we? That type of penalty.
And Japan are in a situation here where they've got to score every single penalty. Takumo Asano, who got their winner in the opening game against Germany, will take penalty number 3 after 2 misses. Long run up from him, and he will hit this right-footed, and he scores, and Japan are finally on the board. Livakovic went the other way, and Japan, after 2 misses, have their first penalty. They trailed 2-1.
Yeah, he struck that well, right foot inside of his boot. Again with a bit of pace. That's the first decent penalty out of 3 so far by Japan.
Brazil against South Korea coming up on TalkSport from 6 o'clock at the end of this shootout. Penalty number 3 now for Croatia. Marko Levaya of Hajduk Split. Very short run up from him, and he's hit the post. And there is suddenly an opening here for Japan. Levaya with barely a run up. The goalkeeper guessed right, but he struck the upright.
What is Levaya doing there? That is a ridiculous penalty. He's taken literally 1 step, 2 step, walks to the ball, and then just tried to chip it into the bottom corner and hits the post.
Now one of the veterans in this Japanese team, their captain, Maya Yoshida, will take penalty number 4. They are still coming from behind here. Yoshida, and it's a miss. It's a 3rd save for Livakovic. And Croatia are 1 penalty away.
Yeah. Well, all I can put this down to is the tiredness of this Japanese team that they've had to put into this match to stay in. It isn't a great penalty. It's certainly a penalty of tired legs. Well, Yoshida has given the opportunity now for Croatia to get through to the next round.
Mario Pasalic can send Croatia through. He steps up, right-footed, and he makes no mistake. And the penalty kings from 4 years ago are at it again at the 2022 World Cup. Croatia, with tireless energy and coolness from 12 yards, are into the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Japan's brave run comes to an end, but Croatia, they find a way. They always seem to find a way, and they've beaten Japan 3-1 on penalties.